Hello, Timeless fans. So, this episode was actually not exactly what we thought it was going to be, although the promo kind of explained it, but I really forgot about it. So, we didn't get the usual Timeless episode this time. In this episode, Agent Christopher was actually the victim that Rittenhouse was trying to take out. And it's because she was the one who recruited the team, and she's the one who's been keeping them going. By getting rid of her, taking her out of the equation, then the team basically doesn't exist. So, basically, that's what the whole episode was about. Let me start from the beginning. So, Rufus and Gia were having their issues. Rufus is really going through all the different stages of knowing when he's going to die, and like last episode, he thought he was invincible. This episode, he's panicking, and all kinds of stages he's going through. Anyway, Gia's not liking this Rufus too much, which is understandable because he's really kind of pushing her away, and she keeps making references like, this is what my father did before he died, pushed me away, and didn't make things better, basically. But yeah, they're having their issues, and we actually get to see Agent Christopher and her family at the beginning as well, just to get an idea of their home life and all that. So you kind of have an idea that something's going to happen, because even in like the previously on Timeless segment, they show her handing a flash drive to Lucy. This happened back in season 1. And she said, if I ever forget my family, hold on to this. And that flash drive is actually going to come in handy. But before we get there, so they learn that the mothership has gone back to March 30th, 1981? 1981. Couldn't remember. So they go back in time, and instead of the usual team, we do get the 3 original, Lucy, Wyatt, and Rufus. However, Flynn can't travel because there's this rule that they can't go back in time when they exist. So instead of Mason, Flynn, they go with Gia, which I actually thought was interesting that she volunteered, considering what happened in the season 2 finale. I guess she trusts, since the past 2 times that they've taken a 4th member, nothing's happened. Which, I don't know how they figured that out, but Rufus is a genius, I guess. So yeah, she goes back in time, and it's actually kind of cool seeing her with the team. I like them all together, actually. I hope they get to take her on more adventures. So they're trying to figure out, well, actually Lucy knows that Reagan was shot that day. There was an attempted murder, and they think that that is the reason why the mothership went back to that time, to actually see through to it that Reagan was killed. And that's what they'd have us believe at the beginning of this episode. However, that was kind of a red herring, because Reagan's not the only one in danger there. It turns out young Agent Christopher, who's Officer Christopher, she's a police officer there during the event that's taking place, and there's the sleeper agent about to take her out. Thankfully, Wyatt figures it out, and he saves her. So in this case, they have to figure out who's trying to take her out. They figure if they go to the hospital where she's been taken to, they'll be able to find the sleeper agent, which they do. And this guy is actually really easily willing to give answers about Rittenhouse. He doesn't know, like, all the information. Like, Wyatt even asks him, like, why did they bring Jessica back? And the guy has no idea, which means we're probably not going to know for a while. Although, the finale's coming next week, so maybe we'll know sooner rather than later. I don't know. But yeah, he's giving them answers about why he's there, and eventually he mentions that his brother is also, I guess he's also a sleeper agent, or I didn't exactly quite catch that, but he's basically given him the task to take out Officer Christopher. So Wyatt and Rufus know that they have to go find him. Meanwhile, Lucy and Gia are trying to get Officer Christopher back on track. They're trying to make sure that she stays a police officer, but she has a family that really doesn't want her in that profession, and even her mother is pushing her to marry somebody, like an arranged marriage. And she's thinking that that's a good idea. She actually accepts the proposal. So Lucy and Gia are just trying to figure out how they can convince her to join the FBI and continue on her path. So this is where the flash drive comes in. Lucy grabs that and she shows Officer Christopher like the pictures of her family that she's going to have. And I thought this was actually really neat that they used it in the past rather than in the present, because that's kind of the assumption that they would have to use it in the present. But they actually show her on a laptop in 1981. And I thought it was a really nice moment because it made her realize that she had something to fight for, something worth living for, which I thought that was really nice. So yeah, this convinces her to end the arranged marriage, and she tells her mother about her sexual preference, and the mother's not accepting, we see at first, and we later learn that the mother actually accepted her and she loves the grandchildren, and in the original timeline she didn't even know that the grandchildren existed, so it's actually a nice bonus that the time team brought to her, I guess. I don't know how to say it exactly, but it ended, like, much better than we thought it was going to. Oh, so yes, the brother's sleeper agent. So, or the sleeper agent's brother. God, I'm so mixed up. Anyway, so he goes to kill Officer Christopher right as she's telling her mother about everything. And thankfully, Rufus and Wyatt show up just in time, and they run him over, and they save her. So, that was intense. Because they were showing, like, him preparing to kill her, and showing present-day Agent Christopher, like, going back to her family. Because they actually had a really nice scene earlier in the episode where she doesn't know what's going to happen, and she's trying to remain calm. And Flynn's telling her, "What are you doing here? You should go be with your family. It's what he would have done." So she actually took his advice, and she went back home, and we're seeing her possible death, like right at this moment, and we're thinking, oh God, are they all going to disappear? Thankfully, it didn't happen. So the time team returns to the present, and they are relieved and happy to see that Agent Christopher is still there. And like I said, everything worked out a little more with the mother. So, yay, happy ending there. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, Rufus is still... Like, that was another point that was going on throughout the episode. Gia was talking to Lucy, and Rufus is still dealing with possible death. And he realizes that he wants to spend every moment he has left with Gia, and Gia realizes that she really wants to be there for him, and she thinks that maybe there's a chance they can change the future. We don't know for sure if that's going to happen, but I honestly don't know if we're going to see the vision come true in the finale or not. So this is... I'm just going to talk about the finale promo. We're actually going to get 2 hours, which, wow, that is not what I was expecting. Hopefully this isn't the end. I thought we were going to get a season 3, but I might have... I don't know. I read an article. They gave me false hope. I don't know. Anyway, what happens is, basically, we're going to get to see them travel back to... I can't remember the timeline, but it's going to be really intense because it looks like Lucy gets left back in time. And I don't know what happens to the time machine. It looks like something goes wrong, but... I don't know. And like I said, I hope the show's not ending here. If that's the cliffhanger, that's not good. I don't know. Seriously, fingers crossed for season 3. I know they're saying that there's a chance that it won't happen, but we made it happen before. Hopefully we can make it happen again. I don't know. The thing is, they didn't advertise enough because, like, even I didn't know until the last minute that they were premiering, like, a couple months ago. NBC needs to advertise their shows. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so wait, one more point I wanted to bring up. There were a couple of interesting things that happened at the end of this episode. We learn about Flynn and Lucy's past, where she gives him the journal. He tells her that she goes and finds him at a bar, I guess after the death of his family, and she has all this information. She knows about how his family died, she knows who killed them, aka Rittenhouse, and she gives him the journal there. And he said that she was like 5 years older than she is now. So something happens in 5 years where she has to travel back in time. So, I don't know. It's all going to be very confusing trying to figure this out. And also the rule was that no one can travel back to their own time. So how did she do that? I don't know. Maybe they'll figure out some kind of loophole like they did with the 4-seat thing. I don't know. We'll see. So also, last major thing that happened in this episode, Jessica and Wyatt were talking at the end, so we're already a little suspicious of Jessica because Mason found that picture of her in the Rittenhouse intel, and we don't know exactly what that meant. And she starts talking about her brother, like he's still alive, and we learn from Wyatt that in his timeline, her brother had died from leukemia and wasn't alive. So, how is he alive? And somehow they were able to afford a cure for him. And who do we know that can help make things happen when you're broke and in need of help? Which is interesting, because right as he starts questioning these things, Jessica says she's pregnant. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. I found it interesting that she brought that up right as he was questioning her. That seems like a way to avoid answering more questions, so... Maybe my theory wasn't so off. We'll find out. Like I said, we'll find out. There's no given as to whether these theories are true or not, but she has some connection to Rittenhouse. I'm quite positive now. What kind of connection? Don't know. They could be misleading us. Maybe there's another group like Rittenhouse. I don't know. That would actually be kind of interesting. Like, there's not just one group trying to rearrange history, but there's a second group. I don't know. We will find out soon, hopefully. I don't know. I'm not ready for the finale. Because what if this is the last season? I don't want it to be. Like, I don't know why people haven't been watching the show. It's really well written, I think. And not every episode's gonna be, like, a favorite, but what they do with this show, the timelines and everything, it's really well done. And the humor of the show is fantastic, and the twists, I think it's a great show. I just wish more people were interested in it, because then NBC wouldn't consider canceling it. Like, I don't know why it keeps getting considered for cancellation. Well, I'm gonna hope for the best, and hopefully my next video for the finale won't be my last for Timeless. I don't want it to be, but all we can do is hope. I mean, if you guys have any way of getting through to NBC to keep the show, please do. tweet them or do some kind of fan letter, I don't know. Because the show, I think it deserves a season 3. It definitely deserved a season 2, and I'm really enjoying it. I know others are enjoying it too. So yeah, if you guys can, let's see if we can find a way to keep Timeless going. Alright. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode and hope you enjoyed the video. And I will see you for Timeless's Season 2 finale. 2 hours. That's going to be a long recap. Oh boy. But it will be enjoyable, and I'm excited to see what happens. Alright. I will see you guys next week. Or, I think it was next week. If not, 2 weeks. I will see you when the finale happens. Alright, have a good day, guys. Bye.